The University of Huddersfield hosted the launch of a major research project funded by the EU to the tune of €2.7 million. This University of Huddersfield-led 3-year project is a child-centred initiative which aims to investigate the characteristics of children with imprisoned parents, their resilience and their vulnerability to mental health problems. The scientific coordinator of the project is the director of the university's Centre for Applied Childhood Studies, Professor Adele Jones.
It was very clear to us in the centre that the children whose parents are in prison are quite a neglected group. They're neglected in research terms, they're certainly neglected in policy terms, and they're neglected in terms of interventions. We were very, very keen to begin to do some research in this area. We thought the way forward was to take a multidisciplinary approach, and so we decided to work with the Centre for Applied Criminology and the Centre for Health and Social Care Research. And we said if we brought together these 3 different elements, we'd be able to look at the needs of children and young people. We'd also be able to think about how we explore their mental health issues and their well-being. And we'd also be able to look at what does the impact of parental imprisonment have on children.
The COPING project is a pan-European initiative, and although the study will cover 4 countries, the findings are expected to have international applications, as the extreme disadvantage experienced by these young people is little recognised in any country, as project manager Derek McKenzie explains.
We've got to influence policy across Europe in this area. I mean, it's got to change the way policy is put together. We've got to make a difference to the way that prisoners' families are looked after and the consideration that's given to them. So that's maybe very ambitious goals to state, but unless you set out, it's not about producing a report. This is about making a difference. And we want to make a difference across Europe, and that's where the funding comes from. It's a European Union Framework 7 programme, and it's the largest framework programme in the world for research and development. Nothing compares to it. And it's a great privilege for the University of Huddersfield to be able to get that sort of funding, to be coordinating a pan-European project, being entrusted with this task, on behalf of Europe, effectively, to make a difference and bring these partners together. So to put that together, we had to prioritise our resources. We can't operate everywhere, so we had to select some countries. So we had a rationale for that, and that rationale was in the UK, we incarcerate more people in the UK than any other country. We thought, well, let's have a spectrum approach. So which country has the lowest? What's at the other end of the league table? Well, in Sweden, there's a fraction of the percentage of people are in prison. Then we went for the most populous country in Europe, Germany, 85 million people, a lot of people in prison. And then we went for New Europe, an emerging economy of Romania. So we've got a good balance there of what Europe comprises.
2 pan-European organisations have also come on board. The Quaker United Nations office in Switzerland will help to ensure the recommendations from the study have maximum policy impact, and Eurochips in France, a networking body for academics, professionals and policymakers working in this area, will enable sharing of information and further alliances to be built.
It's estimated that about 700,000 children a year across Europe are separated from a parent because of incarceration. Those are children that we know very little about, but what research has been done tells us that if they are boys, they are more likely to end up involved in delinquent activities, that they are a third as likely as other children to feature with mental health problems in later life. There are major problems in terms of educational achievement, low self-esteem, and a whole range of associated problems relating to loss of family.
The COPING research strategy will place the clearest emphasis on knowledge obtained directly from children and young people. Indeed, children will play a prominent role in disseminating research results to policymakers, professional bodies and key organisations.
Across Europe, this issue is not taken seriously. There are no services that are effective in terms of a comprehensive approach. There is no kind of policy remit. If you take the UK, for example, there is no body that has, no single authoritative body that has responsibility for ensuring the well-being of children whose parents are in prison. So this is a really, really important study. And by instigating it, we're actually starting off a pan-European-wide research agenda which will hopefully push forward policy and interventions to support children affected by parental imprisonment.